learning Java is like, first question comes to you is like, how do I remember all the syntax which is there? And and also you'll feel like, okay, it is too much to understand when I start writing my first program only, right? There are a lot of things. How do I remember everything? Why should I write static? Why public? Why this main method is like this, right? Why classes and all that? You will start getting doubts. So, like you'll face initial difficulties when learning Java. Okay, say trust me, it is only for 3 days or 4 days. After today's class, you'll start liking Java as a programming language because it is so simple. When we start doing with IDEs, what is IDE? It is Integrated Development Environment. Okay, what is IDE? It is Integrated Development Environment. There are a lot of IDEs in the market. So as of now, what we are thinking or what we are using is maybe there is something called as um, IntelliJ IDEA. Okay, IntelliJ IDEA is like a very uh, famous integrated development environment. Okay, you can also use IntelliJ IDEA, or you have something called as Eclipse, which everybody use, right? Eclipse, or you have something called as NetBeans, or you have other options like Visual Studio Code, VS Code, or you can also use Notepad. Okay, VS Code, and also you can use Notepad, right? Notepad, anything you can use for developing applications. But today, what I'm telling you is to use Eclipse. Okay, or recommending you to use Eclipse or IntelliJ IDEA. So any one of this IDEs you can download and use. For this, you want to download, what is the prerequisite for you to download any of this IDEs is installation of JDK. So JDK should be installed in your machine. After installing the JDK, then you can download Eclipse. Eclipse is available free for everybody. It is an open source. IntelliJ is also available free. All these are available free for download. Okay. So what I did, I just downloaded one version of Eclipse. So you can go here and type in what is Eclipse, Eclipse download. Okay. You can directly go to Eclipse website, go to their downloads page, and directly download a version of 68. Download 86 into 64. So this is for your Windows environment. You can directly download this. Once you download, you will get a file like this. Okay, you will get a zip file, and once you extract it, you will get something like this. Okay, here you will have an option called as Eclipse. Okay, so this is like Spring Tool Suite. Maybe when you learn advanced Java part of it, there is a framework called as Spring. Okay, so it is just a Eclipse framework only. So as I am having Eclipse in my machine, that is Spring Tool Suite, I'm just telling you how to use Spring Tool Suite. Okay. Uh, Now, once you open the Spring Tool Suite or Eclipse, right, you will have an options to create project. Okay. When you want to start learning any Java projects from now, you should create one Java project. Okay. Say for example, I'm creating a Java project called as Java Day 3. So for that, I will just give Java 3. Java 3 is what project name I am giving. And here you can see what is the IDE I am using. What is the environment JRE? What is JRE? Java Runtime Environment. What is that I am using? I am using Java SE11. So Java SE11 is nothing but Java Standard Edition 11. Okay. And here I have create specific folder for source and class files. So this is something which is by default clicked, and you also just keep this. Don't change any of the settings, and just click on next. Okay, this will build the project. You can see SRC file is been generated, and then click on finish. Okay, and it will pop up a window saying that, hey, what is this module info.java? This is part of Java 11. Okay, so you don't want to create module files, so you just say don't create. Okay, so this is a first project that you created. Can you see JRE system library? What is JRE system library? Java runtime environment system library. Okay, this is very important for your understanding perspective. Means whenever you are having an IDE, JRE will come along with your installation. And SRC is a folder in which you will create whatever you want to create. Okay, whatever projects you want to create, whatever you want to create, you can create it inside this SRC folder. Okay, so here I can just go and click on new. And you see a lot of options are available the moment you click on new. So it says you create, you can see here, it says you can create a Java project, you can create a Maven project, you can create a package, create a class, create an interface, create annotation, create record, create enum. Lot of options will be available for you. Okay. So for now, what we will understand is somebody is talking in the class. Please mute yourself. Hello. Can you please mute yourself? Somebody is talking. Okay. Thank you. So now the main important thing now we need to understand is you can create a package. Okay. What is package? It is different blocks of code that you will have a different folders. You can say you have, folders, right? Inside your photos, you will create a folder like annual day photos, and you will say friends photo, you will say family photo, you will create folders like something like that you want to create. You can have package create. Okay. So package name should be unique. Unique means somebody can easily identify the package name. So generally, we should give package name as reverse of a domain name. For example, facebook.com is there. We should give com.facebook. Facebook. Okay, this is the standard way of writing package names. Okay, if somebody asks you what is a package, package is just separate folder directory which gets formed in your project. And what is the standard name that we should give? We should give a reverse name of the domain name of the company. If I'm working for Facebook, I should give com.meta or com.facebook. Okay. So imagine it is com.facebook and I click on finish. Now you can see a package created here, right? Package is created here. Now you can go right click on this package and create class. See, creating class is very simple. There is a button called as class button. You click on class button. It will ask you a window. There you can give class name. So I will give demo4 as the class name. Now, okay, it's a demo4. Now, can you see here modifiers? Okay, there's something called as modifiers. You have public, package, private, protected, abstract, final, all this you have, right? Static. But as of now, I will keep it public. And here, can you see there is something called as public static void main is already there as a button. You can click on this and click on finish. Can you see beautifully IDE has generated some code for you, correct? Some code for you, it has already generated. What is this code? It says, hey, already I have a class, I have a main method, and it is auto-generated by somebody, So that's very good, right? You have everything what is required for your first program already available. Okay, so IDE makes your life so simple. Can you see there is something called as package com.facebook. So package is nothing but the first line of your program. And you can see a class I have created and I have written a main method. Okay, so and it is public because I chose public there. Main method should always be public. That is one more rule. Okay, and now what Java brings or IDE, whatever you're doing, Eclipse, right? So it brings in US. Say if you are making any mistakes, IDE will identify. The IDE will identify. Say for example, you are having an integer variable, integer age. Okay, integer age. You are giving some value 9. Okay, so this is a valid statement. This is a valid statement. So it is accepting it. But instead of 9, I will give my name. Okay, as a string, I will type something. Okay, I'll type something. Now automatically my IDE will understand that you are making a mistake, and it will says type mismatch, cannot convert string to integer. Okay, this is a string. I cannot convert string to integer. It is saying it is an error. Can you see red mark below that? So now it will only suggest you change the type of age to string. So it is saying, hey, as you are giving string, change this integer to string. It is giving you a suggestion. If you click on that, automatically it will change. Are you able to understand? What IDE brings in US, it always allows you to correct your mistakes and also suggest you code. You can go and it will suggest you code to write. Okay, it will only suggest you code to write. Are you able to understand this? Yes or no? Till here, any doubts? Till here, any doubts? Others in the meeting? Till here, any doubts? Can you put that in the chat window so that I can see? Any doubts?
No,
Hope
sir.
there are no doubts. Okay. Now we will start. We'll see the gap where we stopped and where we start. So I did not tell you what is casting yesterday, and I did not tell you what are constants, right? And I did not tell you how memory is allocated. Okay, these three things are me. I'll finish this and go to the next topic. Okay, and also I need to tell you um, what are modifiers. Okay, what are modifiers? Okay, so pay attention, very important. What are modifiers? So here you can see public. Here also you can see public, correct? No? So what is this public? So public is called as access specifier, or we say modifier, access modifier or access modifier. Okay, what is modifier and what are the types of modifiers we are having? We have public, we have private, we have protected, and by default, there is an access specifier called as default. Means we don't write anything for it. Okay, we don't write anything for it. That is default. Default access specifier. So these are the default access specifiers. So what are access specifiers if you are imagining? So I am writing demo4 as public. Means this class is now available for every other packages. Say tomorrow I will create one more package. Say I will go and create a package called as com.amazon. Amazon. Okay. Amazon. Okay. Now I will click on finish. Now if somebody wants to use this demo4 from Amazon company, it's a different package. Okay. It's a different package. If somebody from the other package wants to use this demo4, it should be public. It should be public. Are you able to understand? If it is public, some other companies or other packages can make use of this class. Can make use of this class. Okay. What is private? What is private? You tell me what is private. You know what is private, right? What is the meaning of private? Can you comment? What is the, yeah, somebody is asking one doubt. Yeah. Can you tell me, ask me what is the doubt? You can unmute and ask, or you can type your doubt. So 19 RA10. Can you please 506? Can you ask what is the doubt? Hello. Is my voice audible? Sorry.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
I can explain you. I can
No
explain
doubt,
you
sir.
the previous. Can you explain previous? Can you explain previous class? Previous class. I can explain previous class. I have a recording also, which is launched in YouTube. I'll give you the link also, or you can take it from your students, and also I will from your friends, and also I will just brief you on whatever I taught you yesterday. Okay, don't worry. So private means something which belongs to only you. Okay, only you. Say for example, you have some properties from your father, okay, and from your mother. All that houses, cars, and all, you will have it inherited, correct? But your mother will have one ornament or one gold chain. She will not give to anybody else, right? She will only keep it. That is private to her. If you go and ask your father, give me your car, he will give you, right? You can take the car and you can go around and come on. He will allow you, correct? But you just think, if you are having a friend and he brought one Ferrari, uh, if you go and ask Ferrari to give a ride, will he give that? No, right? He will keep it private. You can't go and ask Allu Arjun, give your Ferrari for one ride, correct? Because it is his private property, correct? Or you cannot go and ask government of Karnataka the one train for your personal purpose, correct? It is not allowed. It is some private property of a government, right? Similarly, here you can make any class as private. Private class, private class, private class, Apple, whatever. You can make it like this. But what is the problem if you make a class as private? Nobody can use it. If you make a class as private, nobody can use it, correct? So it will give you this warning, okay? Illegal modifier, class Apple, okay? Only public, abstract, and final is permitted. It is saying, hey, only you use public or abstract or final, okay? Don't use private. If you use private, nobody can use your class, okay? Okay, if I don't give anything, I'll don't give anything, okay? I'm not giving anything. If I don't give anything means it is default. It's a default access specifier, okay? Now I can also give something like final class orange. This is also permitted, okay? Final. So what do you mean by final? Final is a modifier. Once you give final orange, you cannot change anything in this class, okay? It is fixed or it is final in nature, okay? So and so you cannot have an object created for a final class, okay? So what it means, basically it is fixed. It cannot be changed, okay? And there is something called as protected. What is protected? It is also something similar to private, but if you give it as protected, inside the class you can access that particular method or variable. So I'm giving it for classes. It doesn't mean only for classes I can give modifiers. I can give it for method. Can you see in main method, they have given public access specifier. Similarly, I can write private int a is equal to 10. So now what I'm doing, I am making this a as private. A as private, okay? And I can also make protected name, string name is equal to Girish. Okay, so you're able to see the difference, right? If you just write int a is equal to say 100, sorry, int b is equal to 100. Yeah, already I've used a, so I'll just use b. So I've used int b is equal to 100. Now what happens here is, now this is private variable. It's a private variable because private modifier. So I'm having a private modifier. I'm using it in front of a variable. In front of a variable, this becomes private. Now I am using protected. This variable becomes protected. I am using like nothing in front of this int b, right? Nothing I am using. If I am using nothing, it is by default access specifier. Default access specifier. Now, what is the difference it brings, right? What is the difference it brings is, if you make use of private, okay, if you make use of private, only inside this class, a can be used. A can be used only inside this class. That's why it is called as private. Like for example, whatever you are having one favorite t-shirt, okay, will you give your t-shirt to your friend to wear? Maybe you can will give other t-shirts, but whichever your girlfriend or boyfriend gave gift as gift for you, imagine, so that t-shirt will you give to your friend? No, right? So that is something private to you. So that is called as private access specifier. Once you declare a variable as private, it cannot be used outside this class. Outside this class, you cannot use it. So that's why we call this as private. Okay. And if you make it protected, what happens? If you make it protected, if you make it protected inside this package, only inside this package, in any classes, you can use this name, not outside the package. Outside the package, you are not allowed to access the protected members. Protected members. But one condition is that you can access the protected members outside the package only when there is an inheritance relationship. Okay, so don't worry, I'll teach you when I go for inheritance. As of now, okay, there is something called default also, right? If it is default, yeah, it is the same behavior. Only inside this package, you can make use of this B. Outside the package, this B is not visible. Outside the package, it is not visible. Okay, so not only variables, you can also make methods as public, private, and protected or default. Say I am writing say private string name, get name. It's a method which I'm writing. Okay, it's a method I'm writing. So what is get name? Get name is a method which is private in nature. So whenever somebody calls this, they should return. I should return something. Return Girish. I'm just writing one dummy method. One dummy method. Somebody calls get name. I will return them name. Okay, but here you can see the modifier. It is private in nature. What is private in nature? This method only belongs to demo4. This method, private method, only belongs to demo4. Outside this class, outside demo4, this method is not accessible. Nobody can access it. Okay. Okay. Somebody will ask me, prove it. Okay. Prove it, whether I can use it or not. Prove it. Okay. So what I will do, I'll just copy all this. I'll just copy all this. So copy, Control X, I'll do. Okay. So here I have some class called as orange class or apple class. So I will go and add few variables into this. Can you see I'm adding something called as string age? Okay. So this is default access specifier. This is default access specifier. This is private variable. This is protected variable. This is again default access specifier, and this is private. Okay. Now what I will do in my main method here, what I will do I will try to access these variables. Okay. So to do that, what I should do, I should create object of Apple. You know that, right? There is an object of Apple I need to create in order to access all of these members. All of his members, I need to create a object. How to create object of Apple class? Very simple. I will write Apple A is equal to new Apple of new Apple. Okay. Now I successfully created Apple object. Means this object I created. What this object will have? This object will have copy of all these members. Okay. But okay, now I want to access. So I will just do system.out.println. And here I will print this age. I want to print this age. How to print age? I will use a dot. Can you see age is visible, right? I can print age. So if I run this program, now you can see age will be printed here. Absolutely fine. Okay, there is some error in line number 5. Okay, this bracket is missing. Sorry, that was the error. Okay, now I'll run this. Can you see this? Now I'll get Girish as the output because here string age Girish is available. It is default in nature. Default means any class in that package can access it. Correct? No? Any class in that package can access. Now, what about this private variable A? A is there. No, I want to print A. Okay. So I will do Control C, Control V. Okay. Now I'll try to print only A. I'll try to print only A. Now, if you run this, you will get something like this. What is this? It is printing this A. Okay. It is not printing A here. Whatever A here it is having, it is not printing that. If you do A dot, now I should get A, right? So there is a variable A present in Apple. Are you able to see that A here? No, A is not visible. It says that, hey, A change the visibility of A to package. Means if you make some variable as private, some variable as private, this will not be visible for other classes also. Okay, so I want to make this 10 visible. I want to make this 10 visible. What I can do, either I can remove this. If I remove this or make it public or remove this, anything I can do. If I remove this, automatically this A is available. Now, if I print it, I will be able to print 10. I'll be able to print 10. No, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I want to keep it as private. If I want to keep it as private, you will get an error. You'll get an error saying that, hey boss, apple.a, inside Apple, you are having a variable A, which is not visible outside, not visible outside. What is the reason for it to not visible outside? Because it is private in nature. It is private in nature. What about name? You have something called as a.name. Okay, name is protected in nature. Name is protected in nature. So it is possible to use it inside the package. Inside the package, it is allowed. Inside the package, it is allowed. So you will get Girish. You can give any other name for your understanding, and you will get that printed. You'll get that printed. Okay. And you have B. Now, can you access B or not? Can you tell me, can you access B or not? Is it possible to access B? Yes, because it is default access specifier. There is no access specifier here. I can directly go and print B. Print B. It is possible to access. Possible to access 100. Can you see B100? Now, can I call this method get name? Can I call this method get name? No, it is not possible to call get name because it is private in nature. If anything private in that class, it is only respect to that class only. It is not visible outside the class. If something is written private, it is only related to that class. It is not visible outside the class. So you cannot access this get name. So if you try to do it, say for example, I am doing a dot get name. That method only is not there, right? But if I go and change, if I remove this private only, the moment I go and write get name here, see, get name is present. Get name is present. It is from Apple class. I can use it. And if I run it, it will return Girish because here I'm returning Girish. You can return anything. Get name working. And if you print it, you'll get name working printer. Can you see this? Right? Did you understand what is the difference between public, private, and protected and default? Did you understand this? Yes or no? Did you understand access modifiers for today's class?
Yes, sir.
Say yes or no. Okay. Okay, I'm not Lord Bhagavan Buddha. Okay, I cannot understand what is in your mind. Okay, I cannot read your mind. You should tell me whether you are understanding or not. Okay. So please interact with me. At least in the chat window, you can interact, or you can unmute and talk. Okay, I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. Okay, I'll explain once again. So I'll just erase everything and I will do it from the beginning. You pay attention. You pay attention. Okay. So I have, you can write any class, say class. Is my screen visible for all of you? Just say yes or no. Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So I will write class A. I'll write class A. Okay. I should add a package statement. Okay. I have class A. I have class B. I have class B. I have class C. Okay. Imagine I have class C. Okay. And I have one main class, say class main. Okay. And in this I have main method. I have main method in this. Okay. Now I will declare. Okay, I will declare one public uh, variable, public int A, or maybe give some name. Can you give some other name? Public int anything integer, say count. Okay, I'll use count is equal to 55. Okay, so here in A class I have one variable, only one variable I am having, and it is having count is equal to 55. It is one variable, public. It is public in nature, and I will have one private variable, private variable, private string say college. What is your college name? What is your college name?
KPRIT.
Omori Pratap Reddy.
Sorry. Can you just say the initials of it?
KPRIT.
KPRIT. Sorry, I'll give everything in. KPRIT. Okay. So this is a private thing. Okay, private thing. Okay, private thing in A. So imagine in class A there is a student and his roll number is 55 and his college name is KPRIT, and his maybe he's having a method saying eat method. Okay, so that is default. I will make it as protected eat method. Okay, so string eat method eat. Okay, and here it returns say eat eat chapati or something. Okay, eat chapati. So what is this one student? Maybe I'll give his name also. So for giving the name, I will just use string name. String name is equal to maybe anyone's name you can take. There is a person called as Suresh in KPRIT, and his roll number is 55. His roll number is 55, and his college name is KPRIT, and he does eating. Can you see there is a default variable, there is a public variable, there is a private variable, there is a protected method, protected method. Now let me try to access this in main method. Let me try to access this in main method. If I want to access these variables, I have to create an object of A class. A class object I need to create. So I will create a student 1 is equal to new A of new A new A of new A of. Okay. Now I will print all these details. Okay. So I will do system.out.println. I will print student one dot name. Can I print name? Yeah, because it is default access specifier. Okay. So I can print name. I can print name. Okay. So if I run this program, I will successfully print. I will successfully. Okay. So it says, okay, there is a name called as demo4. So this class name, I should give it as demo4. Okay. Demo4. No problem. So I'll just run it. Now you can see Suresh is printed. What is the first student name? Student name is Suresh. I am able to access student name. Okay, student name is accessible. Now I will try to access. I'll try to access some other thing called as a roll number. Can I access roll number? It is public in nature, correct? Public in nature. So I can use student1 dot roll number. So if I print it, I am able to print Suresh and roll number because one is public in nature, one is default in nature. Can I access college name? Can I access college name? Yes or no? Yes or no? I cannot access. I cannot access because it is private in nature. If I do student one dot, right? Student one dot, can I see if there is no method called as college? There is no variable called as college. Even though I forcefully write college, it will say, hey, college, change the visibility of college to package, right? Change the visibility to package. It is not accessible, not accessible. Okay. And there is one method called as eat method. I can directly use it here because eat is protected in nature. Protected in nature. So protected variables can also be used inside a package. Inside a package. I'm running it. You can see I'm able to access eat chapati. Are you able to understand? Yes or no? Access specifiers you are able to understand, right? Access specifiers you are able to understand. Okay, super. Now I'll tell you very important thing. Memory architecture in Java. Okay, memory architecture in Java. Very important thing. If you don't understand this, you will not understand Java. Okay, please pay attention. So now take the same example that we are having. Take the same example here. I will remove this class B and class C as of now. Okay, don't need this as of now. Okay, don't need this. Okay, just remember A, class A. Okay, what class A is having? All these variables it is having. It is having one method. Okay, now what happens in the memory? What happens in the memory? Okay, this is what we are trying to understand. Okay, what happens in the memory? Now, how many classes are there? First class, one class is there, two classes there, three class, and four class. Right? There are four classes basically. Okay. Now, inside the fourth class, you are creating object of first class, correct? So this line, you are able to understand this line, right? I'm explaining this. I'm explaining this line. So that is A student one is equal to new A of. I'm explaining this. What happens if I do this? Okay. So let us go to memory locations or memory mapping. So imagine it's a plain memory. This entire thing is heap memory. You know heap memory? So that is this heap memory. Okay. So imagine now I have four classes defined, right? Four classes I have defined, but I have not created any objects. Okay. If I don't create any objects, if I just write classes like this, in your memory, nothing will be loaded. In your memory, nothing will be loaded. This will be empty. The moment you write like this, that is student S1 is equal to new student of. The moment you create object of a class, so demo 4 comes into picture and this A comes into picture. Okay. Okay. Now what happens is this A, imagine A. Now beautifully A student 1 is equal to new student of. Okay. Let me break this. See what is this A student 1? A student 1. What type of variable it is? A. What is A? A is a class, correct? A is a class. And what is student 1? What is student 1? It is a variable, correct? No? It's a variable. What type of variable? Class type of variable. A is a class. So this is called as non-primitive variable. Yesterday I was telling you non-primitive variable, correct? No? How this will be formed in the memory is beautifully, as it is a class type, it will go and create beautifully, it will create a memory like this. This. Okay. So I'll just fill. Okay. So inside this, what will be there? What will be there? This is a variable. Okay. It's a student variable. Okay. Student variable. What type of student it is? What type of student? What type of student? A type of student, right? There is a class A. There's a class A and it's a A type of student. A type of student. A type of student. Right? A type of student. Now, this will be formed in the memory. What is A? A is a class. And what is the student? It is a variable. Variable. Now, what this will hold? What this will hold? This will hold some address. Some address. What address it is holding? You just see here. You are creating new A of. What is new A of? You are creating object of this A. Object of this A. Okay, so what and all is present in this A? A is having one string variable. It is having one integer variable. It is having another string variable, and it is also having some int variable. All these are present in A. So automatically one object is created. One beautiful object is created. Beautiful object is created like this. Okay. One beautiful object is created, and inside this object, what and all will be there is it will have name. It will have name. It will have a roll number. It will have college name. College name. It will have eat method. Eat method. Are you able to understand? What is student? Student A, student 1 is equal to new student of. If you do new student of, one big object will be created and all this data will be present inside this object. Inside this object. Okay. So this is one object. This is one object. What is there in one object? Name is there, roll number is there, college name is there, and everything is there. Now I will go and create one more object here. I will create one more object, that is A student 2 is equal to new A of. New A of. I am creating a second object. Can you see here? I am just changing the variable name from student 1 to student 2. I am changing student 1 to student 2. Now what happens? Now what happens? Again, same object will be created again. Another object will be created again. Now, this was student 1. Here, this was student 1. Now, there's one more block of memory created. One more block of memory created, which is student 2. Student 2. Okay, student 2 will be created. Okay. Now, what student 1 will do? Student 1 will point to this object. And what student 2 will do? Student 2 will point to this object. This will point to this object. Okay. So what is student 1? Student 1 is now having address of what? This object which you created. What student 2 will hold? student 2 will hold address of a new object is getting created. Okay, so you can go and see here beautifully. You can just copy this all 3 lines and again paste it, again paste it. Now change student 1 to student 2. Change student 1 to student 2. Student 2. Student 2. You can create student 2. And if you run it beautifully, you'll get another set of output saying Suresh fetch. So all these details are stored in both student 1 also, student 2 also. Student 1 also, student 2 also. Are you able to understand this? So how many objects I can create for a class? How many objects I can create for a class? N number of objects I can create for a class. There is no restriction of how much objects we are creating. You can create any number of objects, Okay. Are you all with me? Are you all able to understand this? What is student 1 and what is student 2? Both are objects. Student 1 is a reference variable. Student 2 is a reference variable. What student 1 is pointing to? Student 1 is now pointing to this object. What student 2 is pointing to? This object. Are you able to understand this? Yes or no? You're able to understand this or not? Okay, I'll wait for the reply. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, super. Okay, now I'll tell you one more important thing. Very important. This nobody will teach you, but you should know this. Okay, should know this. Now, what is static and non-static? So these are all non-static variables. Are you able to see? These are all non-static variables. You can also use a keyword called a static. So here in main method, you are having public static, right? Can you see static here? So the moment I write static, right? The moment I write static, this values whatever you are saying in the heap memory, this will not be present in the heap. Okay. So let me show you an example. So here I had a class. So here name I had, right? So this I will make it as static. Yes, I will make it as static. Static. Okay. Sorry. Yes, TS. Okay, static. I'm making this as static. And here I'm making this as static. I'm making this as static. Okay. All the variables, I made them as static variables. The moment I make them as static variables, now can you see a yellow line here? So it says this static field A should be accessed in a static way only. Means what you're trying to say? Okay, you are trying to make this as static variables. You cannot, if you create object and try to use them, then you will not be able to access them because they will not be present in the heap memory. Okay, but still you are able to see here Suresh 55 and each chapati is printed, but this name, whatever you are having, should not be accessed by reference variable. So you are saying this, right? What I'm doing? I'm going to student 1 dot name, student 1 dot roll number, student 1 dot college, like that I'm accessing, right? So if I make it as static, I don't want to use student 1 reference. I don't want to use reference. I can directly write a dot. I can directly write a dot. That is class name, a dot. Okay, so this is the right way of doing it. Okay, so but for a dot eat, it is saying some error because it is saying change eat also to static. I did not change eat to static, so I'll also change eat to static. I'll change eat to static. Now if you are running, you are able to get those values. Okay, so like now the static variable, right? You created a variable object, but you're not using it. That is the meaning. Okay, if you don't have this line also, this will work. If you don't have this line also, this will work. You see, when I'm running it, I'm able to print all the three. Now I don't want the object to be created. I don't want object to be created. Why? Whenever you create a static variable, whenever you are having a static variable, it will be saved in a separate memory called as static memory. It will allocate itself a static memory where all whatever you wrote with static, right? All of them will come and sit here. Say for example, name, roll number, your college, and eat. Everything will come and sit in this memory called as static memory. So this memory we call it as static memory. This is a heap memory. This is a heap memory. Okay, so that is the difference between static variables and non-static variables. Okay, what are static variables? When you declare a variable as static, whenever you declare a variable as static, this values will be stored in a static memory. It will be stored in static memory. If you don't use static keyword, it will be stored in heap memory. So non-static variables, if you want to access, you must create an object. Without creating objects, you cannot access non-static variables. Non-static variables. You can access static variables by using class name dot member name. Class name dot member name. Are you able to understand this? Are you able to understand this? Easy, simple. Okay. I'll just check the chat window. If anybody has a concern. Okay. I am hoping you are able to understand this. I'm hoping you are able to understand this. Okay, fine. So now we will go and understand. We'll go and understand uh, the next topic that we had to do in this category. One thing is what is constants. Okay, how to declare, initialize variables and constants. Variable we have seen yesterday. So what is a variable? So here, whatever we are writing, name is a variable, role is a variable, and college is a variable. Okay, so these are all variables. Now, if you want to declare a constant, you should use a keyword called as final. Okay, final int pi is equal to 3.14. So what is this final int pi? What does this mean? Okay, it cannot be int, it should be float or double. Float or if I'm using float, I should write f here. Okay. So I'm having a variable of type float. So I'm using a keyword called as final. What does it mean by final is this is a global variable. You know global variable, you have learned it in C programming also. We used to write something called as hash define 3.14, pi is equal to 3.14, something like that. It can be accessed throughout the program anywhere you can access. So if that kind of variables are there, you can declare them as final variable data type, variable name. Generally, it should be capital letters. Okay, if you are declaring any constants, it should be capital in nature. Pi. Okay, capital in nature. This is something that you should always understand. Okay, so it's about constant. Okay, so that's the main thing we wanted to discuss. We almost completed the day one part of it. We are switching to day two part of it. Very important that things that you need to understand is conditional statements and branching statements, and also looping statements. Okay, these three are called as decision making or decision making statements. Okay, so very important and very easy to understand also, because you have already learned this in your C programming. Okay, so there is nothing new that you are going to learn, but these are very very basic things that you should know or very common things that everybody should know. So I'll be teaching it very precisely and very understandable way. So anywhere you guys get any doubt, you can stop me. And there is a beautiful statement called as break and continue. We'll also learn what is break and what is continue. Okay, so that is the agenda for today's class. So already you know what is a conditional statement. We'll come and understand here briefly, and then we will move forward. Okay, so I have a class called as demo 4. Okay,
Excuse
now
me, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, can you once explain the auto unboxing and boxing, sir?
Okay, auto boxing and unboxing. Yeah, sure, I'll do that. So what is boxing? Okay, what is boxing? So in Java, okay, in Java, any variable which is declared as primitive type of variable, say for example, int a is equal to some value 10. Okay, it is a primitive value. Integer is a primitive value. Int is a primitive value, right? Similarly, you have float. It's a primitive value. Float f is equal to 3.7. So this is a primitive value. Okay, primitive value. Okay, so a is a primitive value and f is a primitive value. So why primitive I am saying is this, it is written in int and float. Okay, in Java, anything that you write, anything that you do should be in the form of objects, but now I am not following that. I am going and writing old primitive way. But what my computer do, or what my JDK or JVM do, is it will convert this line into object format. What is object format? It will make it as an integer a is equal to 10. It will convert my int a is equal to 10 to integer a is equal to 10. Okay, and what is this float f2? It will convert it to float f. It will convert float f is equal to 56.7. It will convert it to this format. Automatically, it will convert it into this format. So what is integer? If you are seeing, it is not a primitive type. Can you see here? Java.lang.integer class. There is a class called as integer class. So I am making, so computer itself is making your int a to integer a. Means from primitive type to it is converting to object type or class type. So this is called as boxing. Okay, it is automatically done. So it is called as auto boxing. It is called as auto boxing. Okay, what is unboxing? Okay, so imagine now you know this concept of boxing and unboxing. You are declaring your data something like this. You are a very good guy. You know boxing is happening, and you only declared it like this. You used integer a is equal to 10. Float f is equal to this. Means you only understood and properly you declared. Okay, this is actually boxed value. Now you should do unboxing. You should open the box. What is opening the box? You should convert from object class to primitive type. So whenever you're printing this value a, or you're printing the value b, okay, you're printing the value b. Okay, you're printing a and b. Sorry, a and f. Okay, you're printing a and f. So what is happening internally is it is going to integer a. What is basically integer a? It is a reference variable. No, a will hold the address of this 10 where it is stored. Actually, if you are observing, what is a? A will hold the address of this variable 10 where it is there. But unboxing will happen and print exact value of 10. It will not print the address of 10. It will print the value 10 only exactly. So it will convert from object class integer to int format. It will convert to int format. So this is called as unboxing. So if you run this code, automatically this capital A integer is converted to int. Float is converted to float, small float. So automatically this is happening. So it is also called as auto unboxing. Auto unboxing. Clear with this? Here, the person who asked this doubt, are you clear?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
So now we are having something called as conditional statements. Okay. Conditional statements. You know what is conditional statements? Whenever you want to perform some activity, I will put some condition saying, hey, what if this situation is like this? Okay. What if I am absent tomorrow? What if I don't give you treat tomorrow? What if I have less money? So you will have these kind of conditions in your mind, right? When say, for example, when your girlfriend asks you, hey, come, let us marry. Okay, she will only tell, come, let us marry. In our house, they are not allowing. Let us go run away and marry. Okay, if that is the condition or that is the statement which is told by your girlfriend or the same way to your boyfriend, so you will get some conditions in your mind, right? You will get some conditions. Okay, you will get questions like, what if tomorrow I don't have money? Okay, what if I cannot feed you? Right? What if we don't have a house? What if we cannot pay rent? What if we don't have a car? Right? All these questions will come into your mind. Correct now? So this type of thinking we call it as conditional thinking. Okay. For example, if I have this, then this will happen. Okay. So these kind of statements you want to do. The best example is like you have a switch. You go and click on the switch. As soon as if the switch is turned on and the electricity is there, your fan starts rotating. Right? These are the two conditions. One thing is you should have electricity to run your fan, and your switch should be on. Right? These are the two conditions that you will have. Right? So if any one of this condition is false, your fan will not be on. So if you want to achieve this kind of activity, okay, like I was saying, right, brain that you are giving, or it will based on some condition or some sensors, it will be working, right? So those kind of activities you can do by using conditional statements in Java. Why conditional statements? Without conditional statements, your execution will happen line by line, it will happen. So you don't want that to happen line by line. For example, as I said, I'll write if you have this switch is equal to 1, switch should be 1, switch should be on, and you should have power, right? You should have power. You should have power to do something. Like if both of this is there, then I can do something. I can do something. So for example, turn on fan. Okay, and fan rotates. Fan rotates. Okay, so what is this switch? Switch should be equal to 1. So I can mention it as a variable. So I'll create a variable called as switch. Okay, and give it a value. Okay, generally the value will be 1 because I want it to be 1. It is on or off. And power. So power should be a boolean. So I'll just create a local variable power with a boolean and say I will say it as true or false. So if it is true, if both the values are true, if it is 1 and this is 1, I'll check the condition. If this condition is also true and this condition is also true, then fan will turn on and rotate. Fan will rotate. Okay, so this is called as if condition. If you are matching some condition, then I will do this. Your girlfriend will come and tell, hey, you are having a house and you are having a good job, then I am ready to run away with you, right? So that is the first condition. So if you want that kind of conditioning to be done, you can do this. If switch is equal to 1 and power is there, if there is a power, if it is true, then I'll do this activity, and then I'll do this. Okay, this is the if condition. Okay, now I want else condition. Else condition means if you don't have this, what should happen? If condition is like, okay, if you have this, I will do this. What is if else? Else is the what not, if it is not there. Okay, so imagine you go to your home and you have chapati and also dosa made. Okay, so you first chapati is served for you. You see the chapati and you don't like it. You say, uh, if I like the food, I will eat. So chapati is something which you don't like, so you will not eat if it is only if. So what else will do? It will check for something else. Okay, if chapati is there, what else you have? Other than this, what else you have? So I have an else statement, and here I have something called as show warning. Okay, show warning. So warning. If there is a power and if there is switch on, then you will print this. Otherwise, it will show warning. So now if I make any one of this 0 or if I make this false, then I will go to else condition and I will execute else part of it. I am showing warning because any one of this is wrong. So your fan will not rotate. It will show some warning saying that I cannot rotate at this point of time, right? This is called as if else statement, or there is if and else. Now, what if based on some more conditions, or say we call it as nested if? Okay, nested if statements, if inside if. So what I will do, I'll take out this condition here. Okay, first I will check if switch is on, then I will just turn on the fan. Okay, anyway, I will just turn on the fan. Okay, I'll just turn on the fan. Okay, this is if statement. Okay, if switch is equal to, if it is not on, then I will come and check the another if statement saying inside this only I will do. I'll write if here, another if here. Again, I'll check another if condition, if power. So if it is true, power means if it is true. Okay, then I will do this. So if inside if, this is called as nested if. Okay, or if you want to check one more condition, saying another if saying maybe some condition, you have some other condition, you can mention it here. If that is also correct, if all these three conditions are correct, then execute this line. So this is called as nested if. So the best example is you go to ATM machine. There will be different if conditions that you will be facing, right? First thing is it will ask you for your PIN number. If that is correct, then it will show your account details. Then you have to enter a valid amount that you are withdrawing. Then you have to click on submit, right? Previously, you used to see that, right? If you want to enter the ATM machine, ATM center, you should swipe the door also with the ATM card. If you swipe the door, then only that door used to open. And after that, you need to have a valid card. If you put the valid card only, it will read the card. Then you have to put the valid PIN. Then only it will read that next detail. So there are multiple if conditions there. If you have a card, then if you have a PIN number, if you have validity, everything is proper. If you have amount, then you will get the money. So there are multiple if conditions. That is called as if or nested if statements. Okay. Then we have something called as if else statements. It's like you are just trying to do some task, and like you have multiple ways with you. Say for example, you are trying to propose your girlfriend or boyfriend. You will have different things in your mind. Say for example, you will propose with a rose. If she agrees, fine. If she doesn't agrees, you will buy a chocolate and then try to propose, right? Okay, so otherwise if she doesn't agrees for that, you'll go and buy a gold ring and then propose. Okay, if she doesn't agree for that, then you will you will do something else, right? So there are maybe write some letter in your blood or something. So there are different else cases. If else, if else. So for example, if I'm proposing with Rose, okay.
Sir, can
I'm
you once
proposing,
again explain multiple if statements?
okay, multiple if statements. Okay, I'll do that. Okay. So when the situation is like you are supposed to check multiple things before you confirm this is the person or not, or this is the valid credentials or not. If you want to do something like that, okay. So imagine I'm having a value called string name. Okay, string name is equal to null. Okay, I'm having something like string name is equal to null. Initially, it is null. Okay, so now I will have to read this value. I will have to read this value. Uh, um, okay, I'll just check one condition. If name is not equal to null, name is not equal to null. This is the first if condition that I want to check. So this name, whatever is here, imagine it is coming from somebody else, somewhere from the internet it is coming. Okay, or you are reading from the user. You think like that. Okay, scanner SC is equal to new scanner of. Then I have system.in. Okay, so, and you are having sc dot it dot next line of. Okay, I'll just import it, then everything starts working. So to import a scanner, you can just come and hover on this. It will say change scanner from util. Just click on that. Automatically that scanner class will be imported. So I have next line of, okay, and this value I'm storing it in name. Okay, name is equal. So imagine now initially the name is null. So you're checking for one condition, name should never be null. Name should never be null. And also you are checking if name is equal to Suresh. Okay. If is equal to Suresh. Okay. So if is equal to Suresh, then only I have to print and then only have to print welcome. Okay, so I have to do this task. Okay, so now I'll run this. Imagine I'll run this. Now it is asking for me to enter. So I will write Suresh. Okay, now it is not printing any value as of now. Next line of is reading the value, and I'm not able to print any values. Okay, console is also printing Suresh. Okay. Not equal to null, and name is equal to Suresh. Then welcome Suresh. Yeah, it is reading, but it is printing, not printing welcome Suresh. Okay, basically, like now what I'm trying to check, trying to check whether name is not equal to null. Okay, so name should not be equal to null. Or you can just say name dot equals.
to null, sir.
Sorry.
It can't come into the if statement.
1 minute. Why it is null? I am having this sc dot next line here. No, I'm reading that value now. Just a minute. I'll just execute and show you, or I will debug and show you what is happening. No issues. I'll just run it. So I'll give A. I'll have an else statement. Let me run this now. Okay, it's coming to else. Okay, this is failing. A is not equal to null. So if condition is not satisfied, so always this name is coming as null. Okay, I'll just try to just a minute. Okay, so now see line by line execution. So initially the name is null. Now I'm having a scanner object. I'm reading an input. So I will give Suresh here and hit enter. So here a name is now changed to Suresh. Okay. Now I'm checking name is not equal to null. Yeah. So this name is not equal to null. The condition is true, and it is coming here and checking name is equal to Suresh. I'm checking. Okay. Equal to Suresh. So this is what is failing. Okay. So here, if I want to compare, I have to use dot equals. Okay. Dot equals Suresh. So now, now it will work. Now it will work 100% fine. Now, if this is proper, so now see, now I'm trying to scan a value. Here I will give Suresh. Okay, and hit enter. Now it is taking the name. It is not equal to null. If condition is true, it should not never be null. Okay, and it is equal to Suresh. It is checking. Yes, it is equal to Suresh. Now it is printing welcome to Suresh, and it is coming out of the block. Okay, if you type anything else apart from this, right? Anything else apart from this, it will fail. So I'll just show you that. So now I'm entering something like ABC. Now it will say else, because it is not coming inside this. So if condition is basically used to check more than one condition. Okay. Generally, when you are writing code, you should check for null. Okay. For any data which is coming from internet, it should never be null, null in value. Okay. So that's why we use multiple if statements or nested if statements. Okay. So what is if else statements, which I was telling you? So like, for example, you have an if clause. You have an if statement. You are trying to do some activity. Say you are suppose you're proposing with dot equals to.
Sir?
Yeah. Yeah. What's your
Instead
doubt?
of string, take integer value, sir.
Instead of string, you want me to take integer. Yeah, I can take. So instead of this, okay, I will do this. I will do integer value. Int maybe you are giving some count of iPhones. Okay, you're giving count of iPhones. Okay, so it's an integer value, and here I will use the same integer value. I'll use the same integer value, and I will use next int of. Next int of. Okay, next int of is a method to read integer values from the user. Okay, so here I will use if the count of iPhones that you are giving while you are proposing, if it is right, if it is equal to 2, if it is equal to 2, right? She is not agreeing. Okay, he may agree. Some of them may agrees, but you if she is not agreeing, okay, think it is not, she is not agreeing. So she say not agreeing. Then what will you do? You will again go and check else if. You will try giving something else. Maybe you will give a rose or give something else. So as of now, I'm just taking count of iPhones just for my understanding purpose. Okay, if he is giving equal to some 8 or not 8, maybe 4. Okay, so else if you are giving 4, so she may agree if you waited. Okay, you might have to wait for some days. Else if you are giving some phones, like I'm just saying phones, maybe it equal to 8 or 10 or something you are giving, then she says yes, something like this I'm trying to do. Okay. So this is the conditioning that I'm trying to bring in. Okay, multiple conditions with that I'm trying. If else if first it will check this condition. If this is true, it will execute this. If it is not true, it will come to else if. If it is, then it will check this condition. If it is true, it will execute this. Otherwise, it will come to this. So if else if it keeps on jumping to else ifs. Again, it will check the condition. Again, it will check the condition. So that is how this else if statement work. Okay, so I am running this, and here I am giving a value, say 4. 4 is the value which I am giving, and hit enter. She may agree if you wait. Okay, now it has checked this condition. It is false. Now it is checking this condition. So this is true because you have given 4. So this is true. It says she may agree. Okay, if you wait. Now next time I'll just go and give maybe 1. I'll just give 1. So I don't have any condition which is matching 1, correct? So it will not execute anything. Maybe you can go and write another last else statement saying that be single. Be single. Okay. So now when you're running it, now you go and give 1, you will remain single. Okay. So it will check this condition, check this condition, check this condition. Both 3 conditions are not matching. It will print be single. It will check first. It will go and check this. Then it will go check this. Then it will go check this. Then it will be this. Okay. So you are wasting lot of time while checking this condition also, checking this condition also, checking this condition also, then checking this. So you're wasting lot of time, right? Lot of time you are wasting in this. Are you able to understand? Yes or no? Okay, you say yes or no, man. Huh?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Anybody doubts? Okay. Hope there is no doubt. So here I was saying if construct, if else ladder, and nested if. I think we have covered all this. So this is basically for writing some conditioning in your code. Okay. So there is something called as switch construct. Okay. So as I was saying, there is a disadvantage. Compiler will check this line, this line, this line. After that, it will come to this line, right? So instead of doing this scenario, you can go with switch case statements. Okay, there's something called as switch case statements. You can write switch is a keyword, and you can write this iPhones only here, this iPhones only. Okay, and directly you can go and write your cases inside this. Okay, switch, and you can write cases here. Say case 1. If it is case 1, what should happen? So I will just print system.out.println be single. So this is the first case. After each case execution, you should break. Okay. Then you write case 2, means you are giving 2 iPhones. Case 2. Then there is a possibility maybe after year, okay, maybe after a year, then break. Okay. Then you can write another case 3. So if you are giving 3 iPhones, so that is the case. So it will like maybe in a month. This applies to boys also. Okay. And girls don't get offended. Boys are very bad than this. Okay. So something like this I have written just for understanding purpose. I have written not intentionally or nothing else. Okay. Maybe I've taken out scanner classes here. That is very important. So I will just have scanner classes. Scanner SC is equal to new scanner of system dot in, and this should be a capital S. And here I have count of iPhones to be SC dot next line of next int. Sorry. So this is it. Now I'll run it. Now the advantage of switch cases, if you are having that value as a case, it will come to that case and execute it. If the value that you're passing doesn't match anything, it will go to a case called as default case, and here it prints okay, it executes this case. Okay, so now I'm giving value as 1. It actually prints me B single, means if you're trying to give 1, it will only come to this case, it will execute this and it will break. It will not check any of these conditions. Okay. So if you are giving something more than that, maybe something 8 or something, it is not matching any of these cases, then also you will be single forever, something like this. Default case will be executed. Did you understand what is switch case? Basically, switch case is like your telephone. Whenever you call this customer care executives, no, they will say click 1 to change the language, click 2 to listen to popular recharge packs, click 3 for caller tune, something like that. They will give ads, right? So they will give that numbering system, right, in your phone. So it is similar to that switch. Okay. So this is a like very easy analogy to understand and contrast between switch case statements. Okay. So you should remember after every case, you should have a break. After every case, you should have a break statement. Okay. What does this break do? Break will break this entire loop of switch case statements once it finds it. Okay. There is one thing called as continue. Okay. And there's something called as continue. You can use continue also instead of break. But what does continue do? It will just skip one iteration for that particular iteration, and later it comes back. Okay, so that is the meaning. I will give you an example for continue. As of now, if you understood break, I'm happy. What is break? Whenever you encounter break, it will break that block. So here it is inside this switch block. It will break this block and come out of it. Only advantage of going for switch cases is if you know for which case what output you need, you don't have to. You have to waste your time executing every other cases here. Okay, it will not waste time in executing all these cases. In if else, else if, it was wasting all your time by executing all the else if blocks. That's why we go for switch statements, whether it is very straightforward, whether you have that case or don't have. If you have the case, it will work. If you don't have the case, it will not work. It is as simple as that. Okay. You are able to understand this? Yes, no? Comfortable? Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is of this. So I actually wanted to cover looping statements, but I don't want to like rush and make you feel too heavy. So I don't want to do that. So I will stop my class for today. So I'll come back tomorrow with more precise topics that we will be dealing. Okay. So I'll stop the recording as of now. Okay. I'll share